Hello, ladies. This is Cheryl Harris Sutton, and so again today I am really excited to be with you. Today I have the honor of interviewing a very good friend of mine. Now I have to tell you about Angela. I met Angela probably a couple of years ago now, and when I met her, one of the things I discovered immediately is that Angela is full of life. She is a person that I admire so much because Angela is the type of person that never meets a stranger. So from the very first time I met her, she was very friendly, very engaging, and very quickly after talking with her, I learned that Angela is an entrepreneur at heart. She loves having opportunities to engage with other people, to pour into their lives, to make their lives better. And so it is such an honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to share Angela with you today. So before we get started, let me just tell you a little bit about Angela. So as I said, absolutely a fun, loving person. That would be the first thing that I would say about Angela. But like many of us, Angela is a woman with a number of roles. She is a career professional. So Angela works for Ferguson and she manages the real estate portfolio for the eastern region of that organization.
Yes.
Angela also, as I said, is an entrepreneur. She's been in the property management business for more than 25 years, and in the last 10 years, she has become the owner of MK Properties, her very own business. In addition to that, if that wasn't enough, she also is a director for Total Life Changes. Angela, welcome to Born to Lead. Welcome to today's show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's such a nice introduction.
Oh, you're so absolutely welcome. It's all true. So, Angela, you are so busy. Like I said, you are a multifaceted, multi-rolled woman. How do you get it all done?
One word, calendar.
Okay.
Time management is key. It hasn't always been easy,
Right.
but being a mom and a wife and an entrepreneur and working full time is the only way I can get it all done.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I forgot to tell you, I also volunteer in ministry at my church.
Oh, awesome.
And so I serve at the resource center, also serving others. So I'm working at least 2 to 3 Sundays per month. So in order for me to plan everything, I have to use a calendar.
Okay.
Have to use a calendar. And I love to delegate when I can.
Absolutely. Delegation is certainly one of the
Yes,
roles
yes.
or one of the characteristics of a great leader.
Yes.
So why don't we talk about leadership for a moment? So who has mentored you? Have you had mentors in your life?
I have been blessed to have mentors from my childhood up until now. Probably the most important people who mentored me were my parents. Both of them were school teachers. Always concerned about me getting an education,
Right.
so I could be able to help others. And I remember my father, when I was studying algebra, I had trouble. And I was like, I can't do it, the typical child. It's hard, I can't do it, I can't do it.
Right.
And and my father shared something with me during that struggle that I didn't know about him, but it motivated me. And that was, he came from a single parent home.
Okay.
His mother and he had aunts who had endured domestic violence
Oh, wow.
because they weren't able to escape the situation because of finances. And I remember him saying, I need you to get this so you will never ever have to depend on someone, or you'll never have to be in a situation that you can't get out of. He said, so I need you to get this.
Right.
So that was probably the first conversation I had about education and, living your dreams and going place. At the time, I didn't realize, he was trying to instill something in me so that I wouldn't have to go through some things he had gone through.
Right.
So that he was my very first mentor,
Okay.
my parents. But then after that, I was blessed enough, my first job in high school, the young lady, she was a business owner, and she encouraged me academically, and she always said, she was someone other than my parents who always reminded me, you are so smart, you're going to go places in life. So if you hear that over and over, you kind of want to live up to people's expectations.
Exactly.
And then when I did get in real estate, I had a very dear owner. He owned the company. He kind of took me under his wings and taught me everything about property management and real estate. His name was Jack Shiver. He's no longer in the business, but that was my first job when I left Mississippi and came to Virginia.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's how I learned about real estate. And even then, he was delegating things to me. He would give me different tasks to do, even though I was just the office manager. But he was teaching me everything I needed to know about real estate and property management.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Sounds like you absolutely have had some very impactful mentors in your life.
Yes.
They certainly
Yeah.
certainly made a difference.
Yes.
So why is being an entrepreneur so important to you?
I think being an entrepreneur allows me to help people.
Okay.
And it also allows me to fulfill my purpose. Like I said, my father had his issue with domestic violence. So being an entrepreneur, especially in property management, I get to lead and glean from other women.
Okay.
I get to help and assist them with housing. And the type of property management that I've been involved with was always subsidized. So I was always able to see those women who were in dire need, and I was able to encourage them. So even though they were in need and I'm encouraging them and helping provide subsidy and housing, it's also helping me because it keeps me grounded and keeps me thankful.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And then my business with, like you said, with Total Life Changes and my property management, I still get to help other people. So even though my businesses and property management is really for all population, whether it's male or female, I still find myself working more so with women.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Great. So, Angela, I'm sure, like many of us, as you have been in the professional world as well as being an entrepreneur for a number of years, I'm sure you've experienced challenges, disappointments, and maybe even failures. So, if you could tell us maybe about a particular failure that really impacted you, what lesson did you learn from that, and how has that enabled you to move forward today?
Well, I'm a type of person, I'm always giving myself challenges and I'm competing with myself.
Okay.
So
I'm not surprised by that.
So when you say failure, it may not be failure in the eyes of others, but to me it was something I knew I could have done.
Right.
I think my biggest setback or disappointment was I managed a tax credit property in Chesapeake back in 2010, and at the time I wasn't educated. I don't believe I was educated enough on the process of what was going to happen to the families, and as a result, probably 20 to 25 families after the program. It wasn't my program, it was a program that the owners of the company decided to do, but I had to implement it. But had I been more prepared or educated, I probably could have carried it out better. As a result, there were maybe 40 to 50 families that were displaced. I feel like had I done my homework early on and learned the system, how to avoid that, I could have cut that number in half.
Right.
So that really bothered me because I felt like I was in a place to assist and help. And so at the end of the day, when the program came to life, there were some families that were over the income qualification, but on the other hand, they weren't really ready to fly off on their own and get conventional housing. So to me, that was a failure on my part because I wasn't educated enough. And so, of course, you know me, I'm right in there learning all I can, so the next tax credit property that comes along, a project comes along, I'm more prepared. And as a result, I did get certified in tax credit, got my star certifications. So in property management, that's a big deal.
Okay, though that's a nice way to get motivated. Okay, awesome. So, in fact, let's talk about motivation. So, what do you do on a daily basis to keep yourself motivated?
I start my morning with devotion.
Okay, so important.
I think balance is important. We working women, we tend to, like you said, we're involved in this, we're involved in that, but it's important to have balance. And to me, it all starts with spiritual.
Okay.
I think if I can keep my spiritual
Mm-hmm.
intact, then everything else will flow.
Okay. Okay. So I know we also mentioned earlier that you are involved in network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're the director with Total Life Changes.
Mm-hmm.
How do you motivate your team? How do you lead them so that they can accomplish their goals?
Well, the good thing about Total Life Changes is they have systems in place to motivate us. But me personally, I have been blessed to have maybe 12 to 15 team members.
Okay.
I say 12 to 15 because some are active, inactive right now. And about 40 customers, dedicated customers. And I feel like because so many people are depending on me to do the right thing, that motivates me to, one, be a product of the product, to stay where I need to be health-wise, and to share with others about what it is that we do and how what I do can make their life better. Again, my motivation is about helping women
Right.
or men. So if I'm going to be in a position to help them, then to me that's motivation just to do what I need to do and progress and get the word out as much as I can.
Okay. Okay. So what are the characteristics of a good leader? What do you see as the characteristics?
One who listens,
Okay.
one who can delegate,
Okay.
and most importantly, one who can admit that they don't know it all.
Right.
And I think we as women, once we realize that we all need each other,
Mm-hmm.
I think we all can progress.
Exactly.
And I think once, it takes a village,
Yes.
not
it does.
just in raising children, but just in doing life.
Right.
Just in
It
doing
does.
life.
Yes. 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 So earlier we talked about a failure or a lesson learned in your life. What has been your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment, I think, is raising my children.
Okay.
And most people don't know this about me, but we were a mixed family.
Okay.
I had my daughter when I married. My husband had his son, and then we had one together. So just the blended family, and making it work for us. I think that's been my that's the accomplishment.
Okay.
And I think God set me up for that for a reason, and I think everything I went through in life and things and lessons I learned prepared me for that.
Okay. And there are so many blended families. In fact, that's probably the norm now these days, as opposed to the traditional setup. So if you had one piece of advice that you could leave with the women that are watching us and maybe in a similar situation with a blended family, what would you say?
Two things, actually. If you get pregnant and you find yourself a single mom, you still have choices. Like I said, grew up in Mississippi. Everybody just expected me to marry the father. That didn't happen. I had choices, and I waited. Made myself better for my child and eventually for my family.
Okay. Awesome. Well, congratulations, because you certainly have done that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as we wrap up today's session, if you could just once again just summarize for us the services that you provide, and we would love to know how to contact you. So if you'll share that information as well.
Yes, Total Life Changes, health and wellness. My email address is moreknight, MOREKNIGHT @AOL.com. And I also offer property management services. I specialize in assisting families and helping them matching them up with homeowners who cannot necessarily sell their homes. So that's a perfect match for families who are looking for houses with the homeowner who cannot sell right away for whatever reason. And I normally match those up, and then I manage the properties, and I see that the family gets into debt counseling so that they can hopefully one day purchase their own home or either make better choices where they're in a position and not have to solely rely on special services, subsidies.
Great, awesome. Well, Angela, it has truly been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come and encourage us, to motivate us. And so, ladies, you heard it here from Angela today. We can have a career, we can be entrepreneurs, we can be creative, we can be wives and mothers. It really requires us having some period of devotion, meditation, having a calendar,
Yes.
and making sure that we delegate,
Yes.
and also that we support one another.
Yes.
So, Angela, again, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And ladies, have a great rest of your day.